technology. So, as usual, we already went through the main things in develop and keep, especially in keep. You remember this very long webinar, but we did a lot of things together. And today we will talk more about synergies. What synergy include, how it should look like with finance, LCP, and OGX. And like here we will consolidate all the things which we like doing as TMs and how we work on all of this with our synergies. So, yeah, my favorite animation. So yeah, in Synergy, like we usually talking about everything about what we talked with you on webinars. We checking team standards implementation. We're talking about R&R, which we have right now, and how people participate and so on. We're talking about national educational cycle because people should receive like quality education on time and so on. We're talking about membership data because we need to know how many people we have in LC itself. Um, we're talking about IXP, like it need to happen because this is how we work on our leadership pipeline as well. Yes, and of course, engagement survey. I already shared with you some results with NST. I will share the full report for you not to be surprised. Like they already saw example during election process. Yeah, and here you understand how things is going, like exactly in your LC, and on whom and on what you need to put more attention. Um, yeah, and what we will do today, maybe it will be a bit less than 1 hour. I hope so. Um, we will go through all the synergies and we will understand, like with you, okay, what should be inside of each synergy. Yeah, we already have TMO GX. It what we did with the previous generation on Ignite conference. Like all together. I just said some things about what we talked previous webinars, and then we will co-create together. Like we will maybe add something here. I will explain you everything, and then we will co-create for LCP and finance as well. So you will have clear understanding, like how synergy should look like, how often it should happen, and so on and so on. Yeah, because it's very very important touch point. Because we are working usually through the people, so we need to have really strong synergy. So for TMO Jigs, what we thought with previous girls, that we have three main goals of this synergy. It's member achieved functional goals because this is how we are measuring development of people and so on. Team standards implementation because it was the main bottleneck previous time, and retention rate and number of people applying on the next position to check okay how many people we have right now, how many people stay because it's also showing us how things is going inside the area, and people applying on the next position. It's how like the vice president working for the leadership pipeline as well in the area and in the LC as well. Um, Also, we put the things which should be prepared before for you not to arrive on the meeting and okay about what we need to talk. So you will have all information before. And we divided like who need to prepare what. From TM side, we thought that TM should present the retention rate and also dynamic. Like if you're storing data, like it will be more visible for you in the second half of the term because I think maybe I will find data for you. Like I will try for later for tomorrow. But also to understand okay how the dynamic of department of retention rate in department was previous time, like why it happened and how to prevent it. Like now, for example, if in 2 weeks, usually people left, and you understand with VPY, and you can compare these two dynamics before and now. So understand is it going the same direction or not? Engagement in LC. It means like how areas engagement in local committee touch points and so on. because you as TM usually see like the all people and you can compare. Engagement survey outputs, especially when you're checking data by department and you understand like where is some things happen, and you talk about it and create an action plan and so on. And retention, rewards recognition progress, to understand, okay, we have this campaign now, this is how your area like should participate and how it's looking right now. And from BPO DX side, usually at its goal achievement per team and each member. So you understand how teams and members are developing inside the area. Its current state of team standards implementation, current state of members, current state of national educational cycle, like the things which should be implemented in areas with people. Engagement in department, so like you can check through all of people and understand, okay, who is really engaged, who is not, and what you should do with these people. And XP during the campaigns to understand how is it going, who is from the area is going, and so on. Okay, we'll explain everything and then you will give feedback. And agenda of the meeting is uh, sorry, uh, numbers is not my strength sometimes. Five main parts. Analyze data and see like the big picture insights, the things which on what you need to put attention and so on. Analyze planning. Okay, like this is what we have right now, but what was before? Like what was done for it? And to understand like what made impact in the situation which you had right now, and understand like you understood the reasons, you understand the results of these actions, and you make here start stop continue to understand, okay, what you need to improve for the next time to prevent some situations and so on. To have action plan, okay, you have the start stop continue, but how you will implement this in the vice president work with the area, and you can here divide by areas. So it will be much easier for a person not to have like 1,000 actions, but to understand, okay, if I'm working in department, I'm going like to this action plan and I'm implementing this. And then team standards planning. We like also because we focused more on the team standards, we put it as the different topic. For vice president to have monthly plan how he or she will work with the department, yeah, and have clear understanding which touch points he or she will have, which agenda, like which outcome should be, and so on. And also it helped to understand the big picture of the months, to align it with operational needs and with the like external environment which happening as well, like exams or conference or something. Yeah, and this is how for you it will be much easier to track this, because you know that your VP have monthly plan, so he know or she what to when these things should happen, and it's easy for you to communicate for it. And the last but not the least, to follow up it. One more time, go through all insights. To check the action plan, like you put everything, is it enough, and so on. And to check clear calendar for the next month. So you leaving this meeting with a like very clear plan what to do next. Yeah, and next steps, usually it's date of the next meeting. If you don't have fixed one, better to have fixed one, and you can just check, okay, next time we're meeting at this like at this day. Yes, yes. um and yes, you have this action plan. Usually you divide these responsibilities, and here you decide, okay, how you will track each other, because you need to be demanding, because if half of plan will happen and half not, like it will not bring as impact as it will be 100% done. So you need to understand how you will work on it together. Yeah, and frequency bi-weekly, because we like if you can, it's better weekly during tough periods, like onboarding or like months of peak of operations. It can be like minimum, it should happen bi-weekly, because monthly it's very rarely. And if you will see something, it will be like very long time of implementing things. Yeah, that's all. Do you understand everything what I told? Yes? No?
Yes, yes, yes. Yes.
Good. Do you have any inputs what we need to change, to add, and so on?
Not for now. At least I don't know.
Mhm. Others, what do you think? Like, is something missing, or like we need to make something more simple, or something more concrete, and so on?
Honestly, I cannot remember to all the things that you have listed, but I'm really the learning by doing person. So if I will realize something, I will just shoot immediately if it's fine.
Mhm. Yeah, this is like template of ideal meeting in ideal universe. And if you understand that you need to put attention on something else, like of course you are free to shape it in your own way. And okay, like if I also understand that you didn't have a lot of synergy like meetings before. Um, we can check it one more time on WeStep, or like maybe on the in one network call. Okay, so we can go next. Now it's time to think. Um, so the logic is the same. We need to understand the goal, the things which should be prepared, the agenda, and next steps. But with LCP. So how do you think? What should be the goal of Synergy TM and LCP?
Retention rate that people stays in the committee. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep, we have it here. What else?
That the people are well educated, that know what they have to do, and well, with
Mm-hmm.
strategies to really know how to educate these people.
So, like, this is percentage of national educational cycle implementation. Implementation. And I think here is logical. Like we have people educated. So we also need to check the level of performance. So you will understand, is this really bringing the like helping people to develop and like doing things in a proper way or not? Because like this thing should reflect on the results of people. Um. Okay. Something else here to for the goal. Yes. No.
But one thing, I mean, you are writing where, or you are not writing
I'm writing. I'm writing in the PPT directly.
in the VP.
Yeah, I will
Oh,
share with
I
you
see.
outputs. You can
Okay.
you find
The what?
you find
Our screen is frozen, I think. Okay, okay. I can see. Yeah,
why?
it's frozen. This is why it was like. It's probably frozen because I thought I have problem with I my mean, because I say screen. This and you say yes, it's right, and
Okay.
it's like I don't see.
Okay. Let's let's do it again.
Sorry, I thought you have the previous things from another place, and then it's okay. That is the first line.
Do you see it now?
Yes.
Amazing. Yeah, please next time, even you think that it's happening only with you, tell about it. Uh yeah. So GMLCP synergy. Is it everything for goal of the synergy, or we need to add something else? Yes, no, we can go next.
I think we can go. Yeah. Do you think that is necessary?
Okay, like for me, maybe the one thing, Elsa team standards implementation. Maybe what I add, for LCP to understand the big picture, especially if you have more areas than one than OGV. Like yes, it's not for like even if you have one area for LCP to understand how it's going, because this is like how we are working with people. Okay. Moving for preparation. How do you think what should be prepared from TM side?
Can you provide an example?
Okay. Like example is here. Like retention rate and dynamic. I think like it's also applied to what we put. Um, maybe what we need to add here. The percentage of like team standards implementation and national educational cycle implementation, because this is the things which also like LCP don't have usually this data, maybe only from my letters, but you also need to present it as TM, like to show this progress and to brainstorm with LCP like what you need to do with this to improve this and so on, uh, and the same level of performance. Uh, how do you think do we need to add something else?
Mm,
Like what LCP should know about what happening in TM area in the LC.
I think those pools should be seen from Podio. Yeah. I mean, the result of the engagement survey, or not just the result, but the answers itself.
Mm-hmm. Like maybe not just also the result itself, but maybe analysis.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah.
So you are coming not with like, okay, this is answers, but you're coming with some insights like, okay, we have like problem here and here, but there is a good thing and so on.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, something else. Okay. So moving to LCP. What should be presented for from LCP side? What can be presented from LCP side?
Maybe the national timeline and guidance, what they got from BOP or in general.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm agree. And also timeline, not only like operational, but like itself, what is happening, what is focus now, and so on. What else?
Coordinate and focus on the synergies with the other departments within the LC.
Mm-hmm. But it's mainly action. It's something what should be like LCP should prepare. to
Mm-hmm.
show on the meeting. I think it's like if we're talking about it, it's strategy, like LC
Mm-hmm.
strategy.
Yeah, makes sense.
So like LCP reviewed, and when come to the meeting, like it was the strategy for previous months, it's like the strategy for now, and you align everything.
Mm-hmm.
Mm. Something else for LCP? Yes, no, moving next.
I don't know.
Okay.
Don't say that you were LCP. I was everything. It's not that easy.
Okay, like maybe by practice we will understand something else and we will add here. So we'll leave it for the next generation. Okay, agenda of the meetings. Um, so yeah, like we will check, we will analyze the data overall, maybe by areas, not by teams. Um, do we need to shape other blocks as well?
By areas, what do you mean?
Like OGV, OGT, OG. Like Elsa, it's for mainly for Elsas who have more than one area.
Ah, okay. Okay. If we have one area by teams, it's okay.
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay.
Like also you like adapting for your scale of operations.
Perfect.
Uh, okay, I think analyze of planning also capable because you are planning with LCP some common things. Um, like for the whole LC, not for the area. Um, action plan. Do we need to replace team standards planning with something? Maybe we can put here board of leaders.
Yes, definitely. I think, yes, as you mentioned, it was somehow bottleneck. So
Mm-hmm. Okay, and what we need to do with board of leaders? Or about what we should discuss in this blog. Any ideas, people? Please don't die. We need to make it happen.
like I think the team goes again based on the national timeline and the LC like based on the strategy and the timeline.
Mm-hmm. Uh, yeah, I'm agree. Review team goals. And mainly here, like progress. Maybe we need to put attention on like everyone is not achieving. Okay, how we will shape the touch point based on this. Um, yeah, and also like the how we will use this touch point according to the action plan, analysis, insights, and so on. Okay. Um. So yeah, here you mainly can make agenda creation for the next point with LCP. And I think here, as we're talking about touch points, also LCM, because it's also one thing on what you're working with LCP in Synergy. How do you think what should be inside the LCP? Sorry, LCM. What should be inside this touch point? this block.
What should be the goal of the LCM, maybe? Like
Mm-hmm.
to,
Yeah, goal of the next.
and also for this one and for leadership board, I think like the activities to accomplish the goal or to work in the goal should be talked with the LCP to know.
What do you mean activities inside the this touch point?
Well, yes, like we in the leadership board, we do an activity in order to explain the team leader how to how to be a model to their members. Like it was an activity and it was intended to accomplish the goal of the leadership board. Like all these things, that the strategy should be talked with the LCP too, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm agree. Like it's mainly not only activities, it's the content of the touch point itself. So here also agenda, okay, and the content. Okay, something else to LCM. We discussed about goal, we discussed about agenda and content.
I think it's, I mean, the chair and the fussy thing, but it's under agenda and content.
Mm-hmm.
I, I'm not sure if it's a separated point or not, but
Yeah, like it's in the LCM preparation slide. Like what should be defined before. So I
yeah,
think we can skip it here. Okay. And I think next steps will be more or less the same. To define the next meeting, to define the how you work on it. Do we need to add something else here for next steps? Okay, I will make it in a normal way after. And how do you think how often should be your synergy with LCP?
wow, weekly. In a way daily, but yeah, I mean, it's something that we.
Like not synergy, but this synergy meeting.
I would say bi-weekly, like LC meetings, leadership boards are bi-weekly too.
Mm-hmm.
So I think so.
Yeah, I'm agree. And also like for LCP to understand the dynamic of the LC, because if you will have it monthly, just 12 meetings in your term, usually it's not enough. And we are like need to change much faster as organization, especially on LC level. Okay, moving next, finance. Um, so what will be your goal of synergy with finance?
Productivity.
Mm-hmm. I think it's more for operations still.
Mm-hmm. Okay. It's just because of the income. I was thinking productivity is also part of it, but maybe it should be rephrased, but I
Mm-hmm.
don't know how.
Yeah, I just thought like this logic. Okay, like as finance, I'm interested in the in money, like in incomes, and usually productivity influence on incomes. But as finance, I'm not really interested in productivity. I'm interested in how to boost this productivity. So we're coming to rewards and recognition because this is how we usually influence on like for people to do more because
Mm.
they want to achieve more. So we can put it around there. Mm, system itself and progress depends from the which meeting you have. Something else for finance except R&R.
Well, I think that it is in relation with R&R too, but I know that like finance has really clear that if the planning is not being accomplished, there cannot be an investment.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to talk about it, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Investments in self. So in membership. Okay. Something else for finance.
I think it's also part of the investment, but it's a bit different because in terms of IXP, now it's also under TM, right?
Yep.
So in this way, if they have some kind of discount or I don't know, then it's also important to talk about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's true. Like it's not fully under TM. Under TM, it's mainly for promotion and so on. Like operational part doing XP ambassador. But yeah, like to check discounts. And usually, for example, in Russia, LC is sometimes doing bigger discounts or less discounts and so on.
Yeah, we also have like different prices according to the LC, so that's why I think it's important to be fixed.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Something else in the goal, or we can move. Okay.
I think we can move.
Amazing. From TM side, how do you think should what should be prepared before?
The system, like we are in charge of doing it.
Mm-hmm. And also the progress. What else? I think if we are working on XP, like it also should be XP progress as well. Because when you're doing discounts, it's some losses, so finance should know about it. Okay. How do you think what should be prepared from finance side?
Current status and the plan in general. I will. Oh yeah. Sorry. Sorry. No, 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 not worry.
Everything is okay.
Okay, so just the current status and the budget plan in general for the exact period of time.
Current state of budget, you mean?
Yeah, 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 sorry, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to say more or less the same. Because, for example, if I want to implement a reward and recognition, not the finance tell me something like, okay, it's not possible. I mean, why it's not possible? Explain me the things. You know the numbers. But yeah, this is current state.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, an investments plan achieved.
Mhm.
Because, for example, for some investments, Jonathan is reminding me because, like, I put it almost 3 months ago and I forgot. And he reminded me, like, okay, in March you have this amount of money for this, and like it was really useful, by the way. Um, do we need to put something else for finance?
For now, I wouldn't say anything else.
Okay, and for
Well,
gender.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
sorry, conferences are part of finance and TN too, right?
Yeah, yeah, it's true. Like if you are supporting members to go and know that the most of else is doing it, so it should be here as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Rocio. Um, yeah, and LCBPTM, like the number of delegates going. Yeah.
Yes. Also. Mhm.
Um, and for finance, it's like how many we are covering, or and so on, and how many we're investing in this. Okay, now we can move to agenda. Like we will start with analyze the data overall as well. Um, and maybe here we will not analyze the planning, but we probably will go one by one. By topics, the R&R, the IXP, national conferences, and investments in membership. Okay. What should be under R&R? About what we need to talk with finance in this topic.
Like how many resources we want to invest in rewarding our members. Like I don't know, for example, in Pompeo we give 10 euros per member to have a team day.
Hmm, it's really nice. So budget of R&R, to feedback on the system from finance, because like you are proposing some things. What else should be here? And also if you are doing it right now, to check the progress, and like how many people participate, how many like these rewards we need to give, and so on. Okay. Investments.
Also,
Mm-hmm.
also maybe can be about rewards and recognitions. Um, what it was achieved in the previous reward and recognition. For example, if you invest in members,
Mm-hmm.
which was the result that we plan in the last conferences, because maybe there is money that you invest in order to do like rewards and recognitions, and then it's not useful at all.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Mm-hmm. So
accountability or something, I would say.
like effectiveness of this, because if
Yes.
for also recognition people not put attention, or people not doing results, like it's not effective. Of previous and also of current as well. Okay. Can we move to investments in membership?
Yes.
About what we need to talk here.
I would say the supports for the conference or team days, the league.
Mm-hmm. Like budget. What was budgeted for investments?
Mm.
Mm-hmm. Plan achieved and which changes you need to bring in this budget. Something else here? Okay, probably we can move to IXP. About what we need to talk in IXP part.
Set a goals according maybe in the needs of the budget. Like for example, yeah, if we need like a fruit for the money, say like we need a fruit, so we have to push people in order that they go to IXP.
Mm-hmm. To set the goal and discount because we need to also we're using externals like friends. So it's part of finance. Set goal and discount. What else? Do we need to discuss about something else in IXP part?
I don't think so.
Like maybe as well to check the progress.
Mm. Mhm.
Yeah, and that's all. Okay, and national conferences. About what we need to talk here.
Mm, discuss like a effective investment because, for example, if you use like the money in order to pay like one fee, if you do like a challenge, maybe it's not necessary like to pay one entire fee. You
Mm-hmm.
can use this money to pay two half fees, and it's two people in because I don't know if you go to Madrid like 4 or 5 days, you're not there to pay like 4 euros. It's like
Mm-hmm.
well, it's cheap.
Yeah. So investments in national conferences. Uh, to make it effective, and also like maybe it will be part of your R&R.
Yes.
Something else here. I think as well to check the progress and the delegation of the LC. Okay, and here as well, action plan, insights, and so on. How often we should make this meeting happen? Synergy meeting with finance.
Monthly? Because maybe we don't need that, like, because these plans aren't made like for a short term, so I think the monthly would be enough.
Mm-hmm.
And like, actually, we can't make like huge differences in tweets.
Mm-hmm. Who is already working with the finance? What do you think? Or what you already have?
I think by weekly, you know, or maybe it depends on the months because it's not the same that league onboarding the first national conference.
Mm-hmm. I'm agree. That it can be like monthly if it's some like months when you don't have things like this. But also like as well in tough periods it can be bi-weekly, if it's needed. So minimum it should happen monthly, but as well you can do it bi-weekly, when it's needed. Okay, I will put it in a nice way. We're almost on time. Uh, so like mainly we define three our main synergies with OGX, with LCP and with finance. I will make it like in a better way, and I will send you right after the call. What will be your next steps according to what we discussed today?
I think like I don't know if you're hearing me. Okay, so talking to all the other EPPs and plan like arrange meetings for these next weeks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's true. So arrange your synergy meetings. Like if you didn't have them yet, so you will have it. Yeah, and I really recommend you to do it like in a fixed way because this is how you will know that like in 1 month, in this day, you have synergy meeting, and the other person also have no any chance to skip it.
Yes, and for example, for IXP, for example, that has already that it's ending. So like I don't know, having a meeting to have feedback of why did it went not great. So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So to check IXP, I must go evaluate IXP. And you can do it with all your synergies because you will evaluate it from different perspectives. Something else here for your next steps? Yes, no.
I think the first one is the mainly one.
Yeah, this is the main one. Arrange synergy meetings and have them in next like in next 1 2 week for sure. Okay, it seems like this is all.